Hey, what's up? Just went through a little mini video on these two brand new fragrances I just got the other day, and they're really cheap ones. But they're ones I kind of wanted to try out because they're outdoorsy scents, and these are them: Pino Sylvestre Original and Agua Brava by Antonio Puig. I was reading this fragrance blog online. I found a couple other fragrances. Got introduced to some through that website too, and these were two of the ones that I think it was under the listing of pine. And the guy said that these are like his favorite pine fragrances, or just kind of outdoorsy fragrances. So I just kind of wanted to get them, and then they're only like 10 or 12 bucks each. So I just got them. So I'm just gonna do my quick sort of impressions on these two. So this came out in, this is Pino Sylvestre. This came out in 1955, I believe. It says like pine gems essence, and then it says created in the 50s, a blend of 12 essential oils. It's made in Venice, and it's just it's supposed to be the original fragrance from nature. That's what it says. A natural, nature, outdoorsy fragrance. It says something. It's like about pine cones and pine needles and their intense smoky aroma. So it's just a pine scent. It's got a really cool box. The presentation's really nice on this. This one is Agua Brava by Antonio Puig. It's a Spanish scent, and apparently I read that you can find them all over Spain, like just in regular stores and stuff. It's only like a $10 or $12 scent. So, but this one says it came out in 1968, and it says it maintains its true aroma, inspired by the Mediterranean, and just a masculine fragrance with fresh, stimulating qualities, citrus, aromatics, and I think like a woody aspect. And then it says it has, a lot of persistence or something. So let's go with this one. These are kind of simple fragrances. This is an eau de cologne. This is an eau de toilette, but I've already tried these a few times, and I think they're kind of like sort of like eau de cologne type of just general fragrances. So it's got a really cool bottle. It's just all soft. It's got like a wood texture, wood feel cap to it too. It's a pretty cool bottle. Definitely smells outdoorsy. It smells almost like warm if I smell that straight out of the cap. But so let's spray it in this hand. It sprays out a big mist of scent. Right off I get a strong piney thing, and I get like a little bit of powderiness just through the dust that it comes through, but generally this scent is like a heavily lemony. There's a lot of lemon and pine, and there's some herbs in here too. I definitely get a strong lemon, kind of like the kind of lemon you'd smell like with a floor cleaner, like a pine sol type of thing. It's like a lemon, like strong and lemon, sharp like that. And then it just gets into like there's some pine in it, and then this one gets into like it gets into sort of a pleasant kind of warm herbal scent with that piney part kind of remaining. But it starts to turn into more like herbs, almost like cooking herbs, like you put on a roast or something. I think there might even be a little bit of musk down underneath in this. Pretty good scent. Heavily lemony, and then piney, and then herbs. So now let's go on to this one, Pino Sylvestre. So, Pino Sylvestre. This is a pretty cool bottle. It's like a pine cone. Pino Sylvestre, I looked it up and it means Scots pine in Italian. Apparently it's the only indigenous pine tree to Europe. And if you look at pictures online, the pine cone looks like exactly like this type of shape. I'm not sure. I think it's right side. The pine cones are right side up like this. But it looks kind of like the same thing. So it's Pino Sylvestre. This one's definitely much sharper, greener. This is a more true smell of pine. Like if you want to got pine sap, this is like it's kind of pine, but it's kind of like creosote is what I get with this too. It's like and really heavily woody. Like I can just imagine it's kind of almost photorealistic pine. It's just like if you go out and cut like pine logs or something with your bare hands or with gloves, but if you get that sap on something and you can just smell that, and like you've just been cutting pine logs with the bark and the sap and the wood and the pine needles, cut down a pine tree or something like that. That's the type of smell you'll get with this. It's like you smell the sticky sap and the pine and all that type of stuff. Again, it's a kind of sharp pine fragrance, but I really like this one. I think I like this one the best out of the two. This one is definitely more lemony, but I get pine, but I also get like pine and a warm, sunny sort of feel. In my sunny sort of imagination, like pine trees, walking through a sort of a forest area. But you have the forest and the pine trees together. It's not just all pine trees. There's some herbs in here. Some really sunny citrus, and then I think there's like some herbs going towards almost like oregano type of herbs in here, but it's like kind of cooking. But that's a pretty good scent too. This one is it's not as warm. It's a little bit colder. It's almost a little bit. This one's more raw. This is, you know, the scent of a pine tree. Like if you're going down and cutting down a pine tree or cutting pine logs or something. This conjures up the image of walking through a high mountain area where it's just all pine trees, and you're walking like, if you've ever been hiking in those type of areas, and it's just like big granite boulders and like cliffs and like rock ledges and just pine trees all over the place. It's kind of something like that. This kind of, you know, herbs or deciduous forest or something, which is more like this. This is just all pine trees. But this, and then it's kind of like the smell of like a cabin in the woods type of thing. It's a really outdoorsy scent, but I really like it. Yeah, this scent really, neither one of these scents really have any age limit. It's kind of like you can just wear these scents even if you're 100 years old, especially this one. It just smells natural. This smells like you're out there cutting wood logs. This one, again, it's a little bit more warmer, but they're both kind of timeless scents. So I just thought I'd mention these two. Some cool outdoorsy pine based nature smelling fragrances. So if you're into that,